NTA.ng/live and all the social media handles displayed on the screen. President Muhammadu Buhari says he takes the existing good relations between Nigeria and the Union of Comoros Island to be very important, and he will be briefing his successor on the need to keep them. Speaking to Azali Assoumani, the president of the Union of Comoros, who just took over as the chairperson of the African Union for the year 2023, President Buhari thanked the island nation for being a good neighbor. As developing states, he noted that they must follow the right steps to achieve development. The president hinted that he will brief his successor and intimate his party on the important relations. The new AU leader said he chose to make his first visit to President Buhari after emerging as chairperson in view of the enormous respect he has for the president and existing cordial relations between the two states. He commended President Buhari for leaving behind a worthy legacy of organizing an election in preparation for a timely departure in line with the country's constitution. He insists countries must work together to fight terrorism. While thanking President Buhari for the encouragement and support, the AU chairperson promised to be in attendance at a handover ceremony. Heads of state and government of the Sahel Region Climate Commission have granted approval for Nigeria to host the Secretariat of the Sahel Climate Fund. This is contained in a communique issued at the end of the second conference of heads of state and government of the Commission held on the margins of the 36th AU Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. We'll bring you the full details in subsequent bulletin. Intervention projects to mitigate incidences of perennial floods in parts of the country are being accelerated to completion stages by the Ecological Project Office. Permanent Secretary Ecological Projects in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Shehu Ibrahim, stated this while inspecting erosion control projects in Nasarawa and the FCT. Mitare Ikben will tell us more.
The flood outlook for 2023 looks gloomy, but mitigation measures by the federal government are ongoing in parts of the country. One of the nationwide erosion control projects is at the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria in Kefi, Nasarawa State, which has suffered perennial flooding.
We have a very major transformation from what we used to witness. Indeed, I never knew that we could reclaim this expanse of land until this sand filling and the drainage had been done.
Appeal to the Ecological Fund Office to extend similar projects to the town, because that is the problem of Kefi.
The government is there to always assist within the possible finances. And, one area of our concentration is the institutions. Because institutions provide services to the generality of the people, so such places give a lot of mileage to whatever you do.
Other intervention projects of culverts and slope protection works have reached completion stages in flood-prone areas in Karshi and Maitama districts of the Federal Capital Territory.
You can see that the spread of the project of the federal government is virtually affecting all strata of the society, whether the high, the low, the medium. We don't have any discrimination in terms of our project interventions.
The Ecological Project Office hopes to expedite completion of various intervention projects nationwide before the rainy season. Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute has announced the deployment of a joint international election observation mission to Nigeria. The 40-member delegation comprised of political and civic leaders, elections experts, and regional specialists from 20 countries in Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, who received accreditation from the Independent National Electoral Commission to observe the February 25th elections. The statement added that the delegation is led by former President of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Joyce Banda, with the mission to show support and solidarity to Nigerian Democrats and contribute to the continued strengthening of the country's electoral processes and democratic institutions. IRI and NTA have deployed international election observation missions to every general election in Nigeria since 1999 transition from military to civilian democratic rule. However, the delegation will conduct its activities in accordance with the laws of Nigeria and the Declaration of Principles for International Election Observation, which was adopted by the United Nations in 2005. The delegation work is funded by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Okay, let's move on. The People's Democratic Party 2023 Presidential Campaigns Organization has held a strategic meeting with the party's National Assembly candidates, chairmen and directors of state campaign management councils in Abuja ahead of this Saturday's election. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Having ended his political rallies last Saturday, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has started a new phase of consultation with party stakeholders. This strategic engagement with PDP National Assembly members and candidates provided a platform to promote collaboration in achieving victory at all levels.
When he is elected, and when, by the grace of God, all of us are elected, we are going to be working together. And that underscores the significance and importance of this meeting as considered by the PCC.
All they want is to be carried along because they are going to protect all their federal constituencies. They are going to ensure that they protect their results. They are going to ensure that anything that has to do with you and your running mate will be protected.
We will do only those things that will promote the unity and prosperity of this nation to ensure that all the promises that have been made to Nigerians are kept.
The PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar is confident of victory as he recounts his experience as vice president in 1999 to 2007.
We must work together to take out the country from its present predicament. You are going to work with somebody who has worked with the National Assembly before and successfully too, facing an incumbent president and still making sure that we protected the Constitution.
I know that we'll win the popular votes. All we need to do is to defend those votes.
You are very, very lucky that the president you are going to have is an experienced person who has interacted over the years with the National Assembly for 8 years, so he knows how to work with the National Assembly.
The PDP presidential candidate and members of the party's campaign organization had earlier met with PDP members in Rivers State, where they assured him of victory, even in the face of their disagreement with the party's leader in the state. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has appealed to the Nigerian electorate to come out en masse and vote for the party's victory in the forthcoming elections so as to have a new Nigeria that everyone will be proud of. He was speaking when he visited Taraba, Benue and Kogi states as part of interface with the traditional institution. Muhammad Ali reports.
This is Mutumbiu, a densely populated area in Taraba State, where supporters welcome the presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. The first meeting of NNPP candidates with royal fathers was at the palace of Emir of Muri, Abbas Tafida, where he solicited his support and assured him of improved infrastructure, especially electricity supply in the state. At the palace of His Royal Majesty John Odobo Obagaji, Ochidoma, and that of Sarkin Hausawa Alhaji Dahiru Mahmuda in Otubo, Benue State. Kwankwaso stressed the importance of peace in the area, promising to increase the number of security personnel in the country.
I want to assure you that if we succeed by the grace of God and we believe we are going to succeed, the traditional rulers in this country, especially the one that is building or any day, any time, will be at the side
Kogi State, the presidential candidate visited the Onu Ankpa, Abdul Malik Umar, and His Royal Majesty Matthew Obalua Oguche II, the Ata of Igala, where he gave assurance of free education for every child if elected. An impromptu rally was conducted where Kunkoso thanked the people of Ankpa for the warm reception accorded him. Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
Countdown to the 2023 general elections. Christian faithful have held a prayer walk to intercede for a fair, credible and hitch-free elections come this Saturday and in March. Elizabeth Omori reports that the prayer walk is at the instance of the Redeemed Christian Church of God worldwide.
This is not a fitness walk, but a spiritual exercise geared towards seeking God's intervention for the peaceful conduct of the general elections. They are optimistic that with divine intervention, leaders with friendly policies will emerge victorious at the polls.
We are praying and we'll keep praying, but it takes much more than prayer. The Bible says that faith without works is dead. Many of us will have to couple our prayers with corresponding action.
The call for peace as Nigerians prepare to perform their civic responsibilities.
Our election cause is about the pedigree and the nobility of us as a nation.
What I want and I want God to do for us as Nigerians, that He should give us a good leader.
The prayer walk is a global event happening concurrently in 190 countries across the globe. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Let's take you back to the report we called earlier, where we told you that the heads of state and government of the Sahel region climate change have granted approval for Nigeria to host the Secretariat of the Sahel Climate Fund. Let's bring that now.
The approval for Nigeria to host the Sahel Climate Fund Secretariat followed the declaration of her wish to be part of the Commission's successful operationalization made by President Muhammadu Buhari at the opening of the conference.
Nigeria pledges to host the Secretariat of the Sahel Climate Fund, equip and provide accommodation to the top management staff of the fund.
The Sahel Climate Fund is the financial body of the Sahel Region Climate Commission. Amongst other decisions by leaders of member countries include the adoption of the methods of contributions from the states towards financing the operations of the Sahel Climate Fund Secretariat. Some eminent personalities have also been named as ambassadors for advocacy and the mobilization of resources to finance climate-related programs and actions in the region. They include former President of Niger, Muhammadu Isufu, UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Muhammad, and a business mogul, Aliko Dangote. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari granted audience to the Chairman Board of Directors of Ethiopian Airlines, Girma Wake, during which they exchanged views on the operationalization of Nigeria's national carrier, Nigeria Air. The board chairman made a case for immediate resolution of the legal obstacle halting the formal takeoff of Nigeria Air, in which Ethiopian Airlines has 49% stake. He also requested the repatriation of the airline funds trapped in the country over foreign exchange challenges. For President Muhammadu Buhari, the decision to relaunch a national air carrier for Nigeria is weighty, but expressed the confidence that things will be all right. The Ethiopian Airlines chief described Nigeria as not just a market, but a hub for aviation in Africa, saying nobody travels more around the globe than Nigerians. He said Ethiopian Airlines and its partners are ready to commence operations on Nigeria Air as soon as all the court matters are resolved. From Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
All right, let's head to Lagos to join Michael to bring us some report. Michael?
Thank you, Ruth. Operators in the media industry have been challenged to avail themselves the opportunity of the digital switchover process of the federal government to broaden their channels and provide quality digital content to the people. This was a submission of some stakeholders at the inauguration of Pinnacle Communications Lagos Signal Distribution Center. Lorita Riziagwim has details.
The federal government's policy on transition from analog to digital broadcasting, which mandates the separation of function between the broadcast signal distributor and broadcast content providers, has continued to yield positive results in the country's media ecosystem. Hence, the inauguration of this Pinnacle Communications Lagos Signal Distribution Center at Isiru, Ikorodu, Lagos State. The Signal Distribution Center, which has about 30 channels, is designed to boost the coverage of free television for the benefit of Lagos State residents. The Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, who was represented, commends the Signal Distribution Center for their commitment and support to the digital switchover process.
We ensure that they obey the Nigerian Broadcasting Code and ensure that they meet to the standard of the task ahead of them.
Other stakeholders, while promising to deliver on their mandate, say the Signal Distribution Center will offer the large competitive and lucrative Lagos media market the opportunity of getting access to bouquets of programming the digital switchover is already offering to other parts of the country since its commencement in Jos Plateau State in April 2016.
We have about 3.6 kilowatt transmitters in here that's pumping out signals for the consumers.
I feel Nigeria needs it in general, but Lagos especially, digital switchover has come.
With the inauguration of the Pinnacle Communications Lagos Signals Distribution Center, more jobs will be stimulated in the creative industry. In Lagos, Lorita Riziagwim, NTA News.
That is it from the Center of Excellence. Nationwide continues with UNISA in Maiduguri after this break. Please stay.
Hello and welcome to Maiduguri. Ahead of the general elections, network of civil society organizations in Borno and media practitioners have deliberated on issues affecting democracy and came out with a proposal of ways forward for good governance. This came to the fore during an interactive session tagged Borno Your Candidates held in Maiduguri, the state capital. Zainab Adam reports.
Borno Your Candidates is the first initiative targeting parties' candidates and the electorate to unveil their manifestos and developmental issues in the state. Convener of Bachelor Ahmed Shehu explained that the efficacy of a candidate will determine the service delivery, adding that accountable leadership is when leaders take responsibility for their actions.
After the conversation, we can be able to have ideas for the candidate and also hold them accountable even after being elected.
Partners and stakeholders deliberated on low literacy level, especially among women and the vulnerable people, inclusivity and electoral issues to ensure mutual commitment, better representation and enhanced service delivery.
We are going to the elections. It is good for the people to know their candidates and also for the candidates to know the wishes and aspirations of the people.
When the politicians, they have gone to the offices, they have never recognized the women at all. Coming together as a single entity to swear election.
The communique was drafted at the end of the forum for onward action to ensuring good governance in Borno and Nigeria at large. In Maiduguri, Zainab Adam, NTA News.
Well, that's it from Maiduguri. It's back to Ruth in Abuja with the continuation of that.
Thank you very much, Yunusa. The Nigeria Police Force is enhancing the capacity of heads of operations of the force and other security agencies with a view of ensuring that officers are adequately prepared to effectively police the 2023 general elections. Francis Pham reports that officers responsible for strategic operational deployment and active field duties officers across the country are attending the one-day capacity building.
Seated in this hall are heads of operations in the 36Ts and the FCT, as well as zonal commands, with participants from the operations department of the military and other security agencies involved in election security management, including the civil society organizations. They are at the International Conference Center, attending the last in the series of capacity building for 2023 general elections.
We are also
create an enabling environment for Nigerians who wants to exercise, who wants to take active part in choosing their leaders, to have a conducive environment to come out and vote for the leaders of their choice.
But the belief of the IG is to ensure that we bring all collaborative efforts together with a view to ensure that the election is really free and credible.
With the team, the role of the Nigeria Police Force in curbing election violence in Nigeria as it affects the upcoming 2023 general elections. Professor Sunday Ochoche of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies calls on the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies to tackle the cases of electoral violence that may arise during the conduct of the general elections.
Quick combination of the sharpening of the law and order maintenance skills, a reawakened commitment to their constitutional responsibilities, impartially delivered, and conflict management skills will go a long way to helping the NPF to reduce the cases of electoral violence.
Similarly, about 2,000 officers and men of the force are currently receiving training in 21 states and the FCT on the role of the Nigeria Police Force in conducting credible polls by the Nigeria Police Trust Fund. Francis from NTA News.
All right, this is where we draw the curtains for Nationwide today, in a brief version actually, because we have something special for you as build up to the election. It's just 5 days to go, and as Africa's largest TV network, we set the pace as we count down to the February 25th general elections. We have a program specially designed, to put you in that mood. We know the whole anxiety, the anticipation is there. And our host today for the program is Fisayo Ogunfoyi, who is already seated. Fisayo, I can feel the whole anxiety. It's just 5 days to go. What is it for you?
Like the younger generation normally says, is the vibe. The vibe around the country is, the mood is a countdown mood. And these days, what do we call the PVCs moving faster than DVDs.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes in a few short moments. Now, in less than 5 days, Nigerians of voting age who have duly registered and subsequently collected their permanent voters' cards will go to the polls to elect their leaders at the national level. That is, the President and members of the National Assembly, comprising the Senate and the House of Representatives. The build up to the D-Day is quite intense and fierce as the presidential candidates and their running mates step up massive campaigns to woo the electorate to vote for them. As the political parties sustain their campaigns ahead of the election, the electoral management body, that is the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has also intensified preparations for the smooth conduct of the exercise. Already, HADOC staff to be used for the elections have been recruited and trained, while local and foreign observers were accredited just 2 days ago. INEC chairman, along with his team, inspected the International Conference Center, the venue of the collation of results for the presidential election. As we start our countdown to the presidential election, we shall join our correspondents on the field to give a situation report in their various localities. In addition, we shall have a guest to speak to the developments ahead of the election day. Good evening and thanks for joining us on Countdown to 2023 general elections. My name is Fisayo Ogunfoyi, and I won't be doing this alone. I'll be welcoming my guest right after this, of course. The lineup includes so many things, on-the-spot interviews, as well as views of Nigerians and some settlements that you may not have heard of, but they're going to be voting just like you will be doing on Saturday. Welcome to the countdown to the 2023 general elections, and I'm being joined by Amzal Lawal, Connected Development CEO. He's a man who has been up and about in terms of statistics and digits and measurements as far as this process is concerned. You look quite relaxed, and it's just 4 days in count.
Well, I have to be relaxed because, well, I guess because I'm dressed like this, well, I'm on the field, so I can't wear my usual outfit like you while on the field.
All right, let's start this way. You know, in 2019, some Nigerians just couldn't do this, not because they didn't want to do it, but they lost their communities to outlaws bent on carnage. This time, they have an opportunity to do this with you. They won't be fighting with their fists for their lives. They would be determining their future with their terms. Let's join Memuna Garba in a locality that has just been resettled, and they are getting ready for the elections. Memuna, tell us about what is happening and exactly where are you?
Right now, a community 28. I'm at Auno, a community 28 kilometers away from Maiduguri, located along Maiduguri-Damaturu Road. The village was destroyed by insurgency and had suffered series of attacks during the peak of insurgency. So Auno is among several communities resettled and is now hosting people from Abadan, Bama, Kondiga, and Mobar. The residents are now going about their legitimate activities. As you can see behind me, they are going about their normal activities. Their socio-economic activities is ongoing without any fear. So to further strengthen security in this community, members of the civilian JTA, the police, RRR team, and a military base has been stationed here in this community just to further strengthen security in the community. So the people here are going about their the people here are going to exercise their franchise during this election for the first time since they returned to the community. And I have with me a resident who will shed more light on how the life has been in this community. Sir, what is your name?
My name is Babagana Adamu, and a resident in Auno village here. And I am happy that this is the first time we are going to exercise our civic right after the displacement. It's no longer a news nationwide, the issue of how the village was before. And we thank God that now enough securities and normal businesses, as you can see around, people are going on with their normal business.
Okay, I want to know whether if you all acquired your PVC and you are really ready for this election on Saturday.
Yes, people got their own PVC. Everybody got his own PVC, and we are ready to exercise our right by voting our choice.
Okay. I still have a resident with me who will also talk more on the election. Sir, you return to the community and you are going to exercise your franchise for the first time. So how has been the preparation for you to participate in the election?
Hello. Alhamdulillah, we are not facing any fear now, and inshallah we're expecting to participate in this coming election successfully without any fear. So that's, we are thanking especially our state governor for staying firm to see that this community has come back since the attack of Boko Haram in 2020. As you are seeing, we almost came back and everybody is back to the businesses. So we thank God for this mercy that He bestowed upon us. And inshallah, we are expecting to perform in this upcoming election without any fear.
Okay. The impression here is that the people are ready because they all have their PBCs with them and they are ready to exercise their franchise on Saturday. The women folk in the community also are not left behind because they said they are going to come out en masse and vote the candidate of their choice.
We can see you live from there in Borno State. I'm moving from, Maiduguri to the place. Was it quite safe and in terms of, your journey there? Can you share with us before we let you go?
Yes, it's not too far from Maiduguri. It's just 28 kilometers away from Maiduguri. Yes, it's not too far, and the area is very well secured because there is a military unit here stationed in Auno, apart from the civil defense and the police. So the rapid response team are also on ground in collaboration with the members of the civilian JTF, giving adequate security to the community.
Very much, Memuna, and I appreciate your effort there to even get there and give Nigerians, on the spot assessment. We're seeing you live. Even my guest in the studio was asking, "Is that live?" You're quite there, live there, and telling us about people even from Bama and Gonduga right there. So hopefully, in the course of the week, we'll come back to you, and perhaps you take us to one other resettled community there. That is, for some who are taking this for granted, for them over there, it's an exercise that they weren't even a part of the last time. So they're just even grateful to be able to, do this time.
This is really exciting, and I think it's important to commend Mr. President and also commend INEC and the governor of the state, because I know that they've been that series of conversation around resettlement, and we can see it. Even myself, I was shocked and surprised. Oh wow, this is live, and people are now resettled in Auno. But most importantly, our security forces and various agencies of security have provided protection of life and property, and the fact that they will not be disenfranchised in 2023 election. This is historic, and we must commend our government for working together jointly in making this a reality.
All right, talking about the template for success for, Saturday. You've been around. What are the unique features that you have seen from the election management body, for instance, to ensure that what you were talking about, some being disenfranchised would not come up in terms of, being very flexible and all that? What are the features you've seen that you may want to say a word or two about?
So first, we cannot talk about 2023 election without talking about the 2022 Electoral Act that was signed by the President. And this act has really provided INEC with that independence, one, to deploy technology, where beavers will play a critical role. 2 weeks ago, there was a mock election where, it was test run across a few polling booths. And we've seen it being used in Ekiti and Osun. And as we go into this election, INEC have provided that response in terms of, one, providing information knowledge, but also engaging. And INEC have never enjoyed this number of support from citizens where the perception is really positive and citizens are really excited to engage. If you look at even the continual voter exercise and the collection of permanent voters card, and the fact that INEC can respond adequately to citizens while getting support from civil society and media like yourself. So it's really exciting. And for us, two things that would inform our engagement and what citizens should look out for beyond the 2022 Electoral Act. The second is the INEC's guideline on election itself. And they have this robust guideline and that engagement with security chiefs and various security apparatus. And of course, their conversation with civil society. So as we go into this election on Saturday and other election in March, INEC has really provided not only guideline, but also various roles and responsibility have been outlined, even for independent observers like myself.
All right, you saw the enthusiastic would-be voters talking from our know there. We'll go to other parts of the country very shortly. But in terms of the main stakeholders, the political parties themselves, have they been able to galvanize interest in the process? You've talked about, voter education, from the perspective of the election management body. In other climes, that will be the work of the political parties, galvanizing momentum towards election, not necessarily just their candidates. But have they been able to do enough to capture the imagination of the voting populace?
Well, they've tried. Political parties have tried in playing some roles in captivating, the interests of citizens, sharing their manifesto and sharing, the ideas on what they would do if they've been elected into office. And as we transition, because this is a transition moment in 2023, it's now various horse races. The tempo have changed. Unlike before, where a lot of analysts would say it's 2 horse race. No, now it's no longer 2 horse race. So it means that there is a new dynamics in our political atmosphere. But I'm not relatively happy with how some of their spokespersons and how some of this party have conducted themselves publicly. When you listen to some of the rallies, and because we observe even during the primaries and even their rallies, how they speak and some of the statements they make are quite inciting, and it's really not exciting for our democracy. But I'm also glad that our security agencies have lived up to expectation. Well, they've gotten a few people to come and take a right-hand undertaking that they will conduct themselves. But when you look at preparedness, the electorate are prepared, INEC is prepared, political party is coming to meet us, and as we go into this election, it's really quite exciting that, one, We have the largest register so far, over 93 million people, and we're quite keen that at least we'll get over 80% of voter turnout.
All right, you know, we're moving towards election. What will be your expectation from the voter in terms of his participation in this process? A lot of you talking about people in the civil society continued to, use figures to say not all of us have been voting, in the past. But let me let you hold that thought because we've gone to the northeast. Now let's go to the south. That's our reach in terms of the Nigerian Television Authority. Obey Otobo Apresai is there in the ancient city of Benin. Obey, can you tell us the mood? The last time we heard from you was a bit dour, but let's hear from you today. What's happening on the streets of Benin?
Hello. Fisayo.
Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Benin. I'm currently standing at the King Square, popularly called Ring Road. Fisayo, you were in Benin for some time, and you know how the mood here is. That the mood here dictates the mood of the whole city, and I can tell you that it is very, very peaceful here. The residents, both those in their vehicles and those, walking, are going about their normal activities. Here on this road, it's a very busy route, and it's safe to say that on a daily basis, thousands of people make their way through this route to get to different parts of the city. And of course, from the morning till now, it's safe to say that half of the 2,501,081 voters expected to participate in the election come Saturday have made their way through this route, and they are conducting themselves peacefully. One thing I notice is that there is, however, heightened activity. Perhaps they are making the last minute rush to prepare for Saturday. And before this interaction began, when my cameramen was setting up, actually, I had the opportunity of talking to some of them off camera, and they told me that they were ready to participate in the election on Saturday. Some of them have been standing by. Perhaps they were curious to know why I am here on the Ring Road. And let me take the opportunity to ask them also how prepared they are for the election. So, sir, could you please come closer to me? Yeah. Your name, please?
I'm Barrister Adams Aliu. I'm a legal practitioner.
So how prepared are you? Please come closer. How prepared are you for the election?
I'm set. I have my PVC. It's a civic duty, and it is fair that one should be a part of the system to cast his votes and be part of the decision making.
And so INEC has increased the number of polling units in Edo. Do you know your polling unit right now?
Yes, my polling unit is at Etete. It has not changed. I have verified, and myself, the constituents, residents, we are set.
And so what's your advice to Edo people briefly, as they prepare for Saturday?
People should go and vote, irrespective of inducements. Once they vote, they should go home peacefully. They should not be involved in campaigning, because campaign would have been banned. When campaign has been banned, you aren't allowed to campaign. They should leave INEC to monitor the election and announce the result sometime after. Then there will be peace.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's get another view from another resident that was just passing by. Hello. Your name, please?
I'm Aigbe Nusa Patrick.
No, sir, are you aware that Saturday is the much awaited election? So how prepared are you?
Very, very much aware, and I'm ready. We are good to go. Even if it's now, we are good to go. We have our candidate already. Myself, my entire household, we are prepared.
And so do you know that INEC has increased the number of polling units? Are you aware? And what's your polling unit?
Yeah, I'm aware. My polling unit is Unit 2, already Ward 3. And nothing has happened, nothing has changed. So we are good to go by that same day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, welcome.
Fisayo, another thing worthy of note is that the weather is also very, very conducive. Perhaps nature is also in agreement with what is going to happen on Saturday, and we are hopeful that it will continue like this. Let's also get the view of another passerby to tell us how prepared he is for the election on Saturday.
Okay, I'm very much prepared. And Comrade Sani Mamadou, the election is going to be very tough, and we ask everybody to pick out their PCV so that PVC so that they should go and vote. So without their PVC, they will vote for the candidate of their choice. And I know fully well it's going to be very peaceful. And we thank the INEC officials concerned for their logistics, then their service to Nigeria and humanity.
Thank you very much. INEC, the security agencies, they are also very, very prepared. The security agencies have been carrying out periodic show of force to show that they are on ground to keep the peace on that day. There was also the security agencies also conducted a peace accord where the candidates gave the assurance of going about peacefully in the election. And that's it for now from Benin. We'll keep you posted, Fisayo, as more things unfold.
Thank you very much. Our correspondent on ground, that has been Obey Otobo Apresai, giving us an appraisal. Thank you very much. We're back here, you know, Amsa Lawal of Connected Development. You can see the excitement, and we saw about 2 or 3 generations there speaking. Pa Adams Aliyu, very eloquent, and he spoke to the issues. Igbe Nusa Patrick as well, and the last speaker with a backpack, all speaking about, you know, their readiness for this exercise.
It's really exciting, and really we must commend NTA, you know, taking Nigerian viewers to the ground, on the ground, getting perspective and feedback. And I think this would also strengthen national cohesion and national unity, where people understand that irrespective of where you are, we're facing the same issues. And like the legal practitioners say, we must be part of the system and process, and it is our civic responsibility and duty. And I think NTA is doing justice to taking information, rich information, to the people and to their audience, and as we go into this election. Well done.
Thank you very much for the kudos. We intend to even do much more. Just stay connected to Africa's finest and largest for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Let's, of course, look at some other aspects of this, you know, election, and that has been the issue of inclusivity in terms of persons living with disabilities. INEC says it has provisions for special people with special needs, and we'll be looking out for that.
Oh yes, I'm aware of this, because I know that some of the lessons we took out of 2019 election was the fact that INEC needs to do much more. You know, a block with over 20 million votes, so you cannot just, you can't just treat them as if they're not part of the system and the process. Yes, well, where INEC have procured materials for visually impaired people and even people who are deaf to participate, and that's why even now you see a lot of TV stations like NTA have ensured that the people who give information using sign language. Yes, INEC has put this into cognizance, and this is even part of their guideline for election, and have also trained their ad hoc staff to address and treat people on election day that have special needs.
All right, we've spoken to people in the north, east, south. Let's come to the center right now, talking about the Federal Capital Territory. Ifeoma Ojinta has been speaking. I don't know if it is to civil society groups or civil servants, but something is civil in some of your interviews. Let's hear from you.
Yes. 2 people. Okay, thank you very much, Fisayo. Thank you very much, Fisayo. I'm actually at the Federal Secretariat, and it's close of work. Civil servants are eager, you know, to go home. But I have with me Mr. Bamidele. Please, Mr. Bamidele, can you come forward? Yes, we are live on the NTA. I just want to tell me, how do you feel, you know, counting down to the elections?
Yeah, we are good to go. We are prepared, as personally, and all my people are prepared. Irrespective of the happenings in the country, we are determined to effect a change in government. So we're all ready.
All right, all right. You have your PVC? Okay, and do you know where your polling units are?
I know everything I need to do.
Okay.
Have it.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. Well, I've been interacting with quite a number of people here before you came on me. And one thing I observe is that all attention is on the presidential election. Very little or nothing is said about the National Assembly election. I have another respondent here. Okay, good evening, sir. Well done. Okay, what's your name, sir?
Prince Dele Oluwajo.
Okay, now the nation, will be going through another important electioneering process. How do you feel, sir, counting down to the election day, 25th February?
In fact, we are expecting the day to come because we are expecting the day. And I believe no problem will happen in Nigeria because Nigeria is already matured enough. So, and we are working towards our own candidates.
Okay, we don't talk about the candidates at this point.
No, I know that I don't mention anybody.
Okay, all the technologies introduced by INEC, the beavers and all that. But what's your take on all this?
My own advice to the people is that they should emulate what INEC wants, because they are the the person that can direct Nigeria, and we must obey them. So that's what we want.
Okay. Yeah. You have your PVC?
I have my PVC. My wife gets his own, and my student has their own.
Okay. Do you know where your polling unit is located?
I know.
All right.
Very close to my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So till 25th then.
By the grace of God.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, Fisayo, that's the pulse of the people around here. I can't get them all to talk because they are in a hurry to go home. But then they are actually eager. The electorate, I tell you, are prepared for February 25th. And that's all I have for you from here, Fisayo.
Thank you very much, Informal Junta, the secretariat here in Federal Secretariat here in Abuja. And I really like the elderly man telling you that all is set. If his wife is set, the children are set. I must have made it compulsory before you enter his gate to get your PVC. All right, let's move on very quickly. Before we round up the program, let's look at the tone coming from Nigerians. In spite of whatever the vagaries have been, the excitement is building.
Oh yes, it is building because in the eyes of the permanent voters card, we are all equal. This is where people feel like, one, there's inclusivity. Two, everybody votes is just one, and our vote actually counts with the fact that INEC has deployed beavers, and it's really excited, and that's why we're deploying 20,000 observers. And for us, we also deliberate. Our observers would vote. Unlike before, where we deploy observers and some of the observers have to travel around local government and even interstate, and then with their permanent voters card, they don't get to cast their ballot. What we've done now is deploy community-based observers. INEC has accredited our organization, Connected Development, and we're deploying the largest observers. And for us, we're looking at the process. Yes, INEC would declare a winner, and I want to urge citizens and Nigerians, do not declare results on social media. It is only INEC that has the constitutional powers to declare results and to declare a winner. Because usually what causes violence is when people who has fast fingers go on social media and say, oh, it is this candidate that is leading. No, it is wrong and it's against the law. And so for us, we're looking at the process and so that the outcome has integrity. So for us, anything that would undermine the process, that's what we're looking out for. We're collaborating with media houses, one, to counter misinformation, disinformation, and fake news that propaganda peddlers would do. We also collaborate with security agencies where they can deploy manpower and ensure they're able to curb any issue that would escalate into violence. And this is the support we're bringing to strengthen and deepening Nigeria's democracy, because we believe that we must play our roles as individuals. And particularly this election, the outcome will be defined by young people. And as a young man, I feel it's our responsibility, and that's why we took it upon ourselves and recruited 20,000 people that will be mobilized to go to the field, collect real-time, concrete information that will be fact-checked before it's aired online. I'm really excited that NTA and us can leverage on this partnership to disseminate factual information while enhancing Nigeria's democracy.
Before I let you go, are you looking at a short or a long weekend?
Oh, it's going to be a long weekend. It will be a long, exciting weekend. Because when you look at the robust register, when you also look at, how INEC has to now transfer results electronically, but also manually in their, collation center, go through this result. And come to think of it, presidential election, everyone has a stake. So, of course, it's going to be a very long weekend. But most importantly, the most important ingredient is peace. As much as it is long, we must be patient and peaceful and trust that INEC will live up to her mandate.
All right, for the past half an hour, we've been speaking with the CEO of Connected Development, Kodam Zalawal. Excited as you are, as far as the elections are concerned, probably in the course of the week, we'll get you in again. He said it's going to be a long weekend, but it's a few short days to D-Day. Prepare to use your thumb, not your fists, and be resolved to stay the whole hog to make sure that you determine the course of state for the next 4 years. My name has been, of course, it has been countdown to the general elections 2023. My name is Fisayo Gufi. Thanking you for staying tuned. We'll be back again 4:30 tomorrow. Don't forget, it's our date with destiny. Be a part of it.